Hi, I'm going to take a few minutes today and go through the Lemond powered by Hoist Fitness Pro indoor cycle bike. I'm going to go through some key selling features for this bike, but I'm also going to go through some features that I personally love. One, you've got a really solid, sturdy frame. A couple things that makes that kind of different and unique and obvious is the X frame design. The whole concept of that is if I'm sitting on the bike and I'm leaning forward, my body weight is centered right in the X of that frame. If I stand up, my body weight is centered in the X of the frame. A couple other things, the oval framing. If you look, we actually use an oval framing in the X frame and circular framing at the bottom. The concept of that is, let's design a bike that doesn't allow sweat to collect on the frame. So if you've ever seen bikes that use rectangular framing or square framing, that's kind of what we're trying to get away from. Other things, once you actually look at the frame itself, before the frame is ever painted, it has electro deposition coating on the steel frame itself. That helps prevent the frame from rusting over time. Extremely durable. We actually use stainless steel inserts that go through for the seat and handlebar post, again, to prevent the bike from ever rusting. Once you actually look at the drive system of the bike, we actually use a belt drive system in this bike. Now, of course, this is really nice, mainly because you can't hear any noise. Super quiet, really smooth. And even from a maintenance perspective, there's no chain to oil, a great system. Let me move this pedal because this is one of my favorite things about the bike. Most bikes you look at just use a regular cast iron crank arm. The bottom bracket is a BMX bottom bracket cartridge. Really easy to change out, but extremely durable. We use a 49-pound machine balance flywheel. Now this is a little bit different than other flywheels. The whole concept of that is when I get on the bike, I get a very smooth rotation, and the inertia is also not as high if I'm going faster and I need to stop the bike. For safety reasons, that's kind of a big deal. And I keep going back to maintenance things. We use a stainless steel assembly, hardware assembly, that goes through here. Again, to prevent rusting, kind of like the stainless steel inserts here. We actually use a leather resistance system. It's a 3-inch leather pad. We found with the leather pad, it simply lasts a lot longer than the microfiber pads. Some bikes that I've been on, when you increase the resistance, you turn it a half turn and it's a big difference. On the Lemond bikes, you actually get a more gradual increase and a gradual decrease with the system that we use. Kind of a big deal. The adjustability on this bike is really extremely broad. The big advantage of this bike, first of all, I want to point out that both of these posts come straight up. You've probably seen some bikes that kind of angle out. The problem with those bikes is if I make a vertical change, it also gets further or closer to the user, okay? The nice thing with this bike, I can simply make a vertical adjustment here or here, and I don't necessarily change the fore and aft. But the concept of this bike is to be able to have micro adjustments, fore and aft, and fore and aft here as well. No pop pins, really great. On the Lemond Pro bike, we actually use a really cool exclusive feature in what I refer to as cam levers, okay? And the way this works, to actually lock your seat in place, we simply push that down. Now, as you can see, there's no way to over tighten that. Same thing for the handlebars. After you're finished riding, the thing that, little things that you just really notice in this bike is the really cool stretch plate off of the back. And the nice thing is you have a nice stretch plate at the end of your exercise program for stretching your calves, hamstrings. Really nice feature.